So then, like everyone, I guess, I do this thing where I go through collecting one artist's record for quite a while. Like I done Eric Clapton, I bought all of his albums. Then I done David Bowie, collected all of his albums. And while I'm doing that, I'm obviously so into the artist. Well, at the minute, I'm trying to get all of Bob Dylan's albums, and it is proving very difficult. But I'm all into Bob Dylan at the minute. I love him, he's brilliant, so here I am today to bring you a Bob Dylan review. Tambourine Man plays. So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now it's time for another album review, and it's a Bob Dylan one. It's the first Bob Dylan album review I'm doing here on this channel since I've rebooted my album reviews. And yeah, I mean, I did do a couple Bob Dylan album reviews with my old album reviewing system. And yeah, I mean, needless to say, it didn't go over well. I don't have the best knowledge on Bob Dylan, and yeah, you know, I was reviewing his 70s stuff, really. So, you know, it's not the most entertaining time for Dylan. I mean, his 70s stuff is still great. You've got albums like Blood on the Tracks, Desire. But anyway, of course, as we all know, the 60s is where Bob's true masterpieces lie. But anyway, so yeah, in this album review, what we're going to do is we're going to do the usual. I'm going to give you a bit of information about the album. We're going to go over each track individually. We're going to mark each track individually out of 10. We're going to add it all up, divide it by the total number of scores given. That gives us an overall marking for the album out of 10. Also going to show my copy of the vinyl record. And yeah, bring it all back home. By the way, that's the album we're reviewing today. I'm also going to give the artwork out of 10. That will be included in the scores as well. Then we're going to head over to the album ranking board, put it on the album ranking board to see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed here on this channel. However, my channel artwork is still down, so I still don't have a slip for the album. So anyway, you guys will see what I mean by that when we get to the ranking board part later on in the video. But we'll still go over there, take a look, see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed here on the channel. But before we get down to the album review, couple quick things. I'm going to do this super quick. I've got new editing software on my computer. You might have noticed it in my last video, which was my complete David Bowie vinyl collection. You know, a bit different. So I'm trying to get used to it at the minute still. So, sorry if the editing's a little bit sloppy here. Not that I do much editing anyway. Second off, yeah, Bob Dylan. He is one of the best artists, if not the best artist of all time. He is such a clever musician. His lyrics are unlike anyone else's lyrics. He is a pure genius. So I know there are people out there who know every detail of Bob Dylan's career. I am still new. You know, I don't know too much about Dylan. I don't know everything I should know about the lyrics. I'm going to admit that straight off the bat. So don't take this review too seriously. This is just me giving my opinions on the songs and giving you as much information as I can on the songs. You know, Bob Dylan is one of these guys where you can really tear his music apart, and there is so much layered information upon layered information. There's so much great knowledge to every single Bob Dylan track. And yeah, I will admit this straight off the bat, I do not know everything. I do not know much, really, considering how much there is to learn on Bob Dylan. So, you know, I know there are people out there who know a lot more than me about this album, who know a lot more than me about this artist, but I'm going to give you as much information as I can. I'm going to talk about the songs and say why I like them and whatnot, because I love this album. I pretty much love every track on here. So I'm just going to give you my 2 cents for it, really. But anyway, let's get started. Bob Dylan, bringing it all back. You know, fantastic record. Bringing It All Back Home was his 5th studio album. It was coming after the album Another Side of Bob Dylan, which is the only album from Bob Dylan I don't own when it comes to the 60s. I mean, as you can see, I've got them all here, but that one. So anyway, that's the only one I actually don't have up in the background, Another Side of Bob Dylan, but you can see it on the album cover. So you can just see it there. So that's the album I'm talking about there. It was released, this album, not Another Side, was released on the 22nd of March 1965. Hit number 1 in the UK. Well deserved. Hit number 6 in America. That was great, you know. It took Bob Dylan a while to get his first number 1 album. Had to wait all the way to Desire. That album deserved it, so, and at least Bob got one. But anyway, 6 is still not a bad position when you think about it, really. And this was the first of Bob's albums where he actually incorporated it's the first of the electronic albums. On the album was split, side 1 and side 2, acoustic side, electric side. Side 1 was the electric side. He had a rock and roll band with him, and side 2 again also had a bit of a change. Bob Dylan's very early albums were all very political, and he kind of took that away. He wanted to distance himself a bit from it. You still get political stuff involved in this album. You still get some references, but he is really distancing himself on it compared to what he had done on previous albums. So there's still even a change. When you think you're getting the Bob Dylan sound that you know from the albums that came before this, you still get that. You still get it, but there is also still a change. You can tell that this album is a change for Dylan, and it's great. It's a great sounding record. So anyway, let's get started. Side 1 has a bunch of tracks on it. It has, hang on, what have we got? We got 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks on side 1, but then the second side only has 4. So, it's only an 11-track album. It's a pretty average length album, really. Just there's so much on side 1. Side 2 has these full-blown masterpieces, let's say. But anyway, let's get started. So the opening track is Subterranean Homesick Blues. Apologies there on the title. So people say this song is kind of a hint at what was to come in music in a way, with rap music, dare I say it, and also music videos and stuff. And I don't think that. I kind of disagree with that a bit. I mean, yeah, Dylan's talking fast. It's kind of what rap music is. But, I think there was a lot of artists who went on in the 70s to do similar sounding songs, as in the way they sung the songs. But Dylan was the first, so I guess if you do want to classify that style of singing back in the 60s and 70s as a predecessor of rap music, then I guess, yeah, you could say that. But anyway, I think that's a very strange thing to compare it to, but that's what a lot of people do like to compare it to for some reason. And Bob Dylan and rap, well, that's one thing which I didn't think I'd be comparing in this review, but anyway. It's a great rocking track. You can really hear the difference already from the previous albums. It's a lot of fun with great lyrics on top again. In my opinion, some of Bob's best vocals are on this song. Bob Dylan's vocals are always something that's up for debate. I mean, with Bob Dylan, the clear attraction is the lyrics and the style in which he performs that. The vocals, though, is something which people always debate about with Dylan, And, Dylan's vocals have unfortunately lost their way, definitely, in recent times. However, back in the 60s and the 70s, his vocals were still pretty good, I think. Obviously, there were better singers out there. But, his vocals were very good for what he was doing. And this is some of his best vocal performance here, I think. He just kind of lets it all out. And, yeah, I mean, this song is fantastic. I really can't fault it at all. And when I can't fault a song, I have to give it a perfect score. So it's a 10 out of 10. Okay, the next track is She Belongs to Me. Much slower song. More traditional sounding Dylan song here. Of course, you can still hear the electric guitar in the background and the drums and whatnot. You can still hear the song's got more of an edge to it than what, previous Bob Dylan albums had. But it's a very great sounding song again. Of course, we get the harmonica come in here as well, the classic Dylan harmonica. Sounds great. The lyrics again on here are great. You can really tell what he's getting at here. It gives you a lot of thought in the lyrics as well. And yeah, it's a nice slower song. It's just what we needed after the opening track. I'm going to give this track even. I'm going to give this track a 7 out of 10. It's a very good song. Then we get what is one of the most popular songs on the album, Maggie's Farm. And this is Dylan's song that it's really a declaration of, independence from the protest folk stuff that was going on. So the lyrics are very interesting there. You do get a bit of a political, as I say, you don't get as much of it on this album as you did on previous albums, but you do get hints of it on this song a lot. And it's a powerful track. I mean, the lyrics, again, they really make you think. The lyrics are just so great. The vocals are really good. It's just a really good song overall again. The song has this edge to it where it really makes you think about what you're singing about, and, the song doesn't need to take pauses. It doesn't need to entertain you in a way where it's like, oh, just a fun laddie-daddy song. It's there to entertain you in the way it puts a lot of things in your head. Really makes you think about what he's singing about. And it's a great sounding song as well. Yeah, I'm going to give this track a 9 out of 10. It's a really good song. Then we got a track called Love Minus Zero, No Limits. And again, another slower track, which is, again, needed after Maggie's Fun, because it's a lot more faster and a lot more rocking. And I'll say this, the pace of side 1 is incredible. You'll get a rocking song, you'll get a slow song, rocking song, slow song. I love that pace. It really makes the album flow really well. And yeah, the vocals from Dylan, again, are really good on this track. Yeah, as I say, the pace of the song itself is great. The lyrics are really good. There's a nice harmonica placement. He hasn't just whacked it at the end of his tracks. I don't like that when Dylan does that too much. He likes whacking the harmonica at the end, just like, oh yeah, I'm the guy who plays harmonica, so let's just quickly throw it in at the end. You know, he does it with a lot of tracks, Hurricane and other such songs. This one, I love the placement of it. I love it in the middle. Instead of getting a guitar solo, like most people would do in the 60s and stuff, harmonica solo. It's great. I love it. It just brings more character to the song, gives the song a better flow. I love the placement of it in this song. So yeah, I'm going to give this track an 8 out of 10. Really good song. And then we get a track called Outlaw Blows, which again is a bit of a more faster song. And again, you know, it's Dylan wanting to distance himself from the political side, which he'd been writing about again, this song. So again, you know, the song itself, faster rocking track. As I say, the pace of side 1, incredible. Love it. The vocals are great. The lyrics are great. You know, and it's an interesting song. It's about who he feels like in the world of politics, almost. You know, you hear some name drops and whatnot in it. And it's very interesting, really, when you listen to it, you know, about where he feels like he is at the minute in life. And what, you know, he kind of wants to distance himself from that and just be the musician which he knows he should be. And, you know, it's great. It really is. It's a very good song. The lyrics are great. I'm going to give this track a 7 out of 10. Very good song. And we get a track called On the Road Again, which is about you know, it's basically about the situation, living conditions of Bohemia, which, of course, you know, it's again, it's an interesting song lyrically. You hear about what he felt like. Well, it's hard to talk about this song in a way, you know, it's him singing about what people were living like, the living conditions, what people were going through out there and whatnot. And, yeah, you know, love how the song starts with the, yeah, you know, Bob on the harmonica again. It starts off really well. Again, good placement of the harmonica there. I really like Bob's vocals on this track. Maybe some of his best vocal performances, I'm thinking. And the lyrics are just incredible. Incredible. I'm going to give this track an 8 out of 10. So now we're on to the last track of side 1, and it's called Bob Dylan's 115th Dream. Whew, wow, I love this song. I'll tell you why. This song narrates a surreal experience, basically involving the discovery of America. That's kind of what it is. It's Bob's overview of that, and it's great. I love that premise. It's a great story to write a song on, let's say. It's fantastic. You know, and it starts off with the, you know, I love the start of it. It's hard to explain. I'm not sure why they burst out into laughing, to be honest. I'm sure someone can let me know in the comments below. But right at the start of the song, him and the producer, or the band, or whoever he's with, you know, again, someone will let me know who he's with in the comments below, I'm sure. They burst out into laughter. And it's great. It shows just the laid-back vibe that was going on in the studio. You know, they just here recording this album and trying to have a bit of fun with it. Burst out into laughing. And I love how they put that at the start of the song. They go, okay, we'll try it again. Take 2, go. And then the song actually starts. I love it when bands do intros like that. It's great. Or, you know, artists, whatever. So it's great. The vocals, again, from Bob, really good. The lyrics are incredible. And overall, just a great song. Great song again. 9 out of 10. Love it. Then we move on to side 2, where we've got just a simple 4 tracks, but they're all quite long tracks, and all, again, acoustic tracks. So very slow tracks here. But of course, we open up with what maybe is Bob's most famous song? I don't know. You got Like a Rolling Stone as well. I mean, that's probably way up there. You know, the times they are changing. I mean, there's a lot of really famous Dylan tracks, but this is up there. Top 5, probably. Mr. Tambourine Man. You know, again, originally was meant to be on another side of Bob Dylan, but it got shelved. Anyway, Dylan brought it back out for this album. And there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of things which people say the song is about. Some people think there's a political twist to it. Some people think it's quite a simple song. And Dylan actually came out and said in 1985, I believe, that the song was about a large tambourine owned by Bruce, I think it's Bruce Langhorne, sorry. So yeah, apparently that's what it's about. Which one's true, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Dylan fan, I've admitted it, so I have no idea what the true meaning behind the lyrics are here. But anyway, let's look at the song itself. It's amazing. The acoustic work is incredible. I think that classic Dylan acoustic sound is what the fans really wanted to hear at this point on the album. I really wanted to hear it anyway. Not saying that side 1 is bad, it's amazing. You know, you've just seen the scores I've given it. It's a great, great album. But it's nice to have that classic Dylan sound. And just a nice simple song to go with it to open up side 2. Beautiful acoustic work. Harmonica sounds great as well. It's an awesome song. I've got no faults with this song again, so it's going to have to be a 10. Next track up is Gates of Eden. You know, one of the weaker ones on side 2, really. I do like this song a lot, but compared to the others, it's one of the more wobbly ones, I find. Yeah, it's, you know, again, a really, really, it's it's a really great song. I love the acoustic work in it as well. Bob as well. It's just such a great sounding track. The harmonica's great. Yeah, you know, it's a fun song. I'm gonna give this track I'll give this track 7 out of 10. Good song. It's Alright, but I'm Only Bleeding is the next track. And one of Dylan's most famous songs, really, if you think about it. There's so many famous Dylan quotes in this song. You know, if you go look at the lyrics of this song, there's so many lines you can pick out in it and go, yeah, I know that. You know, it's one of his best lyrics. Some of his best lyrics, that he's ever written. Love the way that Dylan sings it. The guitar work is amazing as well. You know, the pacing of the song, it's just got a different feel to it, different vibe, which is great because, you know, all of side 2, of course, has that Dylan with the acoustic and then a harmonica coming in over the top. So it's great to have a different sounding song. It sounds incredible. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Great song. And then It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. Very famous song as well. Very popular track off the album. I'm going to say straight off the back, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 because I really like this song. I know some people have trouble with it, actually, which is surprising. You know, again, lyrics here, I'm not 100% sure what they're about. I've heard a couple different things on the lyrics, but to me, I'm going to go with it. Sounds like a sad goodbye love song, really. It's nice. It's just a classic Dylan song. Again, as I say, the harmonica ends the song great, and of course this is the closing track, so it ends the album great. It is a fantastic track. I really do love this track a lot. It's a great track. So yeah, 8 out of 10. But anyway, now let's take a look at my copy of the vinyl record. Hope I did a good enough job there, guys, on the lyrics, because I know it's hard to talk about Dylan. I know some of you know a lot more about it than me. But anyway, so here is my copy of the vinyl record. This is an original British mono CBS pressing. So as you can see there, it's got the really nice glossy cover. There's the album cover itself. I really love that picture. It's great. Then going to the back, of course you've got the nice fold over corners as it's original. A bit yellow here, but that's okay because it is very old now, of course. There is the tracks. And then let's have a look at the record. Try to be very careful with these because they're very old. This is a complete first press mono in pretty good condition. There are a couple little marks on it, but that's expected with the age. So yeah, very nice. So yeah, the album artwork, it's hard to mark these old albums on artwork because, you know, they were all kind of simple back in the day. But I'll give it a 7 out of 10 on the artwork. So anyway, now what I've done is I've actually added up all of the scores given, so all 11 tracks plus the album artwork. And as there were 12 scores given, I'm going to divide it by 12, And this album, out of 10, is going to get an 8.3. So yeah, an 8.3 for Bob Dylan's Bringing It All Back Home. Let's head over to the album ranking board, put it on there, and see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed here on this channel. So anyway, as I said, unfortunately I don't have the slips here just yet because I'm still trying to get my album artwork back on my computer, so I couldn't print the slip out. But I'll make sure for the next album review, guys, I'll have the slip, because I've still got to put George Harrison's Living in the Material World on here, which got an 8.1, so we'll imagine that's about here. So 8.3, there are actually two other albums which I've given an 8.3 to. David Bowie, Hunky Dory, and Eric Clapton's new album, I Still Do. Yeah, I mean, I got all caught up in that album when it came out, so I probably would drop that album back a little bit, probably to a low 8 or a high 7 still though, so only a little bit. But anyway, it has beaten out all of these albums here, as you can see. I'll let you guys have a look there. Beaten a lot of albums out. Unfortunately, there's no other Bob Dylan records on this board yet, so I can't really compare it to any other Dylan albums. Yeah, and then up here, of course, are the albums which it's either tied with or the albums which I feel have beaten it. But as I say, that's not really saying too much. Anyway, I just bring the tripod back over here with me, back over. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when talking about this album, it is a fantastic record. But anyway, guys, that is it for this review. So Bob Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home. It's a great record from Dylan. I don't think I'd say it's his best. It's up there, no doubt. It's up there, top 5. But I, you know, personally, I'm going to go these two. Blonde on Blonde, Highway 61 Revisited. Incredible records. And also, I'm very, very biased because I've grown up listening to Desire, the 1977 release from Dylan. I know when you start comparing his 60s stuff to 70s, there should be no comparison. But I'm very biased towards Desire. I love that record. But yeah, I mean, I'd easily put it top 5. It's like them 4 albums, you know, Highway 61, Blonde on Blonde, Bringing It All Back Home, and Desire. They're all going around in like a washing machine for me. It's like, you never know which one's going to be my favourite. It's definitely up there though. It's a great record. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check it out because it's a fantastic album. But anyway, guys, that is it for this review. I hope you have enjoyed my thoughts on Bob Dylan Bringing It All Back Home. As I say, I know there are people out there who can do a much better job on this than me. So I hope I've done the album as much justice as I can give it. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.